औज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली। Section 17 Weldability of steels. Remaining topics: unfavorable welding conditions encourage weld beads to solidify so that the low melting point films become trapped at the center of a solidifying weld bead and become the weak zones for easy crack formation. Figure 17.6 shows a weld bead that has solidified under unfavorable welding conditions associated with the centerline solidification cracking. Figure 17.6 weld bead with an unfavorable width to depth ratio. This is responsible for liquid metal being pushed into the center of the bead by the advancing columnar dendrites and become the weak zone that ruptures. The weld bead has a cross section that is quite deep and narrow, a width to depth ratio greater than 1 to 2, and the solidifying dendrites have pushed the lower melting point liquid to the center of the bead where it has become trapped. Since the surrounding material is shrinking as a result of cooling, this film would be subjected to tensile stress, which leads to cracking. In contrast, figure 17.7 shows a bead with a width to depth ratio less than 1 to 2. This bead shape shows lower melting point liquid pushed ahead of the solidifying dendrites, but it does not become trapped at the bead center. Thus, even under tensile stresses resulting from cooling, this film is self-healing and cracking avoided. Figure 17.7 weld bead with favorable width to depth ratio. The dendrites push the lowest melting point metal towards the surface at the center of the bead center, so it does not form a weak central zone. SAW and spray transfer (GMA) are the arc welding processes most likely to give weld beads with an unfavorable width to depth ratio. Also, electron beam and laser welding processes are extremely sensitive to this kind of cracking. As a result of deep, narrow beads produced, avoiding unfavorable welding conditions that lead to centerline solidification cracking of weld metals with sensitive composition may require significant changes to welding parameters, such as reducing, that is, dot welding current, give a shallower bead, dot welding speed, give a wider weld bead. Avoiding unfavorable welding conditions that lead to greater cracking of a sensitive weld metal requires changes to the technique used at the end of a weld when the arc is extinguished, such as dot TIG welding when using a current slope out device so that the current and weld pool depth gradually reduce before the arc is extinguished, gives more favorable weld bead width to depth ratio. It is also a common practice to backtrack the bead slightly before breaking the arc or lengthen the arc gradually to avoid the greater cracks. Dot modify weld pool solidification mode by feeding the filler wire into the pool until solidification is almost complete and avoiding a concave crater. When MMA welding, modify the weld pool solidification mode by reversing the direction of travel at the end of weld run so that the crater is filled. 17.5 Lamellar tearing, a type of cracking that occurs only in steel, plate or other rolled products underneath a weld. Characteristics of lamellar tearing are: cracks only occur in rolled products, for example plate and sections. Most common in carbon manganese steels. Cracks usually form close to butt just outside the heat affected zone. Dot cracks tend to lie parallel to the surface of material and the fusion boundary of the weld having a stepped aspect. Figure 17.8 typical lamellar tearing located just outside the visible heat affected zone leading to step like crack are characteristics of a lamellar tear. 17.5.1 Factors influencing susceptible to lamellar tearing. Lamellar tearing occurs when two conditions exist at the same time. Dot. Susceptible rolled plate is used to make a weld joint. Dot. High stresses act in the thorough thickness direction of the susceptible material known as the short transverse direction. Susceptible rolled plate, a material susceptible to lamellar tearing, has very low ductility in thorough thickness short transverse direction, is only able to accommodate the residual stresses from welding by tearing rather than by the plastic straining. Low thorough thickness ductility in rolled products is caused by the presence of numerous non-metallic inclusions in the form of elongated stingers. The inclusions form in the ingot but are flattened and elongated during hot rolling of the material. Non-metallic inclusions associated with lamellar tearing are principally manganese sulfide and silicates. High thorough thickness stress. Weld joints that are TK and Y configuration end up with a tensile residual component in the thorough thickness direction. The magnitude of the thorough thickness stress increases as the restrained rigidity of the joint increases. Solution thickness and the size of weld are the main influencing factors, and lamellar tearing is more likely to occur in thick section, full penetration TK and Y joints. 17.5.2 Cracking mechanism. High stresses in the thorough thickness ductility present as weld residual stresses cause the inclusion stingers to open up, decohese, and the thin ligaments between individual decohesed inclusions then tear and produce a stepped up crack. 17.5.3 Avoiding lamellar tearing. Lamellar tearing can be avoided by reducing the influence of one or both of the factors. Susceptible rolled plate. EN 10164 steel products with improved deformation properties perpendicular to the surface of the product. Technical delivery conditions gives guidance on the procurement of plate to resist lamellar tearing. Resistance to lamellar tearing can be evaluated by tensile pieces taken with their axis perpendicular to the plate surface. Thorough thickness direction. Thorough thickness ductility is measured as the percentage reduction of area. Percentage reduction of area at the point of fracture of the tensile test piece. Figure 17.9. Figure 17.9 round tensile test piece taken with its axis in the short transverse direction. Thorough thickness of plate to measure the percentage reduction of area and assess resistance to lamellar tearing. The greater the measured percentage reduction of area, the greater the resistance to lamellar tearing. Values in excess of 20% indicate good resistance even in very highly constrained joints. Reducing the susceptibility of rolled plates to the lamellar tearing can be achieved by ensuring that it has good thorough thickness ductility by using clean steel that has low sulfur content less than 0.015% and consequently relatively few inclusions. Procuring steel plate that has been subjected to thorough thickness tensile testing to demonstrate good thorough thickness ductility as an 10164. Thorough thickness stress. Thorough thickness stress in TK and Y joints is principally the residual stress from welding, although the additional service stress may have some influence. Reducing the magnitude of thorough thickness stresses for a particular weld joint would require modification to the joint, so may not practical because of need to satisfy design requirements. However, methods that could be considered are reducing the size of the weld by using a partial butt weld instead of full penetration, using fillet weld instead of a full or partial penetration butt weld, figure 17.11. Applying a buttering layer of weld metal to the surface of the susceptible plate so that the highest thorough thickness strain is located in the weld metal and not the susceptible plate, figure 17.10. Changing the joint design, such as using a forged or extruded intermediate piece so that the susceptible plate does not experience thorough thickness stress, figure 17.12. Figure 17.10. Reducing the effective size of the weld will reduce the thorough thickness stress on the susceptible plate and may be sufficient to reduce the risk of lamellar tearing. Figure 17.11. Lamellar tearing can be avoided by changing the joint design. Figure 17.12. Two layers of weld metal applied usually by MMA to susceptible plate before the T-butt is made. Figure 17.6. Weld decay occurrence. Service failure problems caused by corrosion may be long time in service associated with the welding but is not a fabrication defect like hydrogen cracking, etc. Appearance called weld decay because a narrow zone in a heat affected zone can be severely corroded but surrounding areas, weld and parent metal, may not be affected. Only affects certain types of austenitic stainless steels. Requires two factors at the same time. Sensitive heat affected zone. Corrosive liquid in contact with the sensitive heat affected zone in service. 17.6.1. Avoiding weld decay. Characteristics of sensitive heat affected zone and failure mechanism. Occurs in stainless steel which are not low carbon grades, low L grades, for example 304 and 316. Heat affected zone becomes sensitive to preferential corrosion because chromium carbides form at grain boundaries in heat affected zone, thereby locally reducing the corrosion resistance of the heat affected zone. More prone to heat affected zone degradation, the more weld run put in the joint. Thicker sections, more thermal cycles, and heat affected zone spends more time in temperature range where carbides form. To reduce sensitivity of heat affected zone, use low carbon grades of the austenitic stainless steels 304 and 316, not enough carbon to form a large number of chromium carbides during welding, corrosion resistance thus not degraded. Use stabilized grades of stainless steel 321 and 3467 which contain titanium 321 and niobium 347 which combine with carbon rather than chromium, so no local reduction in corrosion resistance. If welding higher carbon grades, use low heat input welding and fewest weld runs possible. Less time available in temperature range when chromium carbides form. It is possible to remove heat affected zone sensitivity by solution heat treatment of the welded item. As this requires temperature of 1100 degrees centigrade, this has practical difficulties. Service environment. Corrosion of heat affected zone determined by service conditions, type of chemicals and temperature. Problem not solved by trying to address service conditions but by selection of material taking account of effects of welding or welding parameters. Weld decay, also called sensitization or intercrystalline corrosion, occurs within the susceptible temperature range of approximately 600 to 850 degrees centigrade, that is, in the heat affected zone or during high temperature service. At this temperature, carbon diffuses to the grain boundaries and combines with chromium to form carbides, leaving a chromium depleted area layer susceptible to corrosion along the grain boundaries. Therefore, corrosion cracking occurs along the grain boundaries in the heat affected zone. Weld decay can be avoided by keeping the carbon low. For example, using low carbon grades like 304L and the heat input low by avoiding preheat or PWST. It is also possible to use grades with added elements which combine with the carbon, for example 321 which contains titanium or 347 which contains niobium. Figure 1. When heated to 600 to 850 degree centigrade, carbides form at the grain boundaries. Chromium migrates to the site of growing carbides. Figure 2. Grain boundaries become depleted of chromium and lose their corrosion resistance.